How do we feel about the background change? I just took my meds and it takes me about an hour after I take my meds for them to absolutely try to knock me the fuck out. Hey guys, what's up? How are you today? So good to see you, diarrhea. Paige is back with another topic to talk about for the AUTIehd diaries. You're autistic and have ADHD. AUTIehd? That's hilarious. Avocado, please stop. Stop being who you are for 1 second. He's a big boy. There's a cat. He's a full-size cat. You scare me. You scare me when you make that face. He found a texture he likes. It's time to lick it. Oh, thank you, Koo. I think that's enough, actually. Nope, you don't need to lick it. Anyway, hi, yeah. If you do not know who I am, my name is Paige Layle. Nice to meet you. If you are new to my channel and things that I talk about, I am an autistic human being, and so I talk about autism and stuff. If you want to learn more about autism or just more about me in general, I would highly suggest that you subscribe, because I am trying to make the world a better place for autistic people. And knowledge is, in fact, power. Okay, so I want to talk about my journeys with sleep. My love-hate relationship with sleep. Like, go on bed. Like, go on, good night. Good night, peace out, bye. I don't know. I think I just want to know if this is a normal autism thing, but I'm not good at sleep. And actually, before we talk about sleep, I have an excellent sponsor today that I need to talk to you guys about, and it actually might help you sleep a little bit better. So take it away, Paige. As most of you, I inhabit a human vessel that needs to be taken care of. And part of that process is lying down and closing my eyes and having everything shut off for about a quarter of my entire life. I'm not really good at that part, at the sleep stuff. And I've tried out a bunch of things to make falling asleep better and faster and good. And I've never had a better sleep experience than with my Birch Luxe mattress. Birch is a premium mattress and a box company that makes mattresses and sleep products that are stylish, comfortable, and environmentally conscious. Birch has recently introduced the Birch Luxe Natural Mattress, an upgrade to their original well-loved Birch mattress. Crafted with responsibly sourced and sustainably produced material, organic cashmere, organic New Zealand wool, with 8 different layers. The Luxe was specifically created for breathability and support in mind. The natural materials allow for increased airflow that keeps you cool and comfortable throughout the night. The natural, non-toxic latex relieves pressure points, while the targeted zoned lumbar support provides enhanced contouring. The mattress has over 1,000 individually wrapped steel coils to cradle your body and limit motion transfer. I've definitely found I'm tossing and turning a lot less every night ever since I got this mattress. And I usually prefer a stiff mattress, which is what I opted for. Like, too stiff that everyone else that sits on it ever is like super uncomfortable. And honestly, I'm a little uncomfortable too. This is the one mattress that fits the stiffness that I need, but is also incredibly comfortable, relieves so much pressure, and anyone who sleeps over with me also enjoys it. It's not so stiff that everyone's breaking their backs. And it's really important to me to use sustainable, eco-friendly products and start being a more conscious consumer. I fall asleep a lot faster. Before, it was probably taking me an hour maybe to fall asleep. Now I'm falling asleep in about 15 minutes. Also, as I'm sure you guys know, I much prefer ordering things online than going out in public and going to a store. So I love that it comes online, ships right to you, and I don't have to see anybody. But if you're nervous about that, buying online, like, I totally get it. But don't worry, because with Birch, you get a 100-night sleep trial. That's more than 3 months to make sure you love it. And if not, they'll come pick it up, take it away, you get your money back. Along with a 25-year warranty. I love my Birch Luxe mattress, and I think you would too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out Birch. You can click the link below or go to birchliving.com/Paige Layle for $400 off your new mattress plus 2 pillows for free. I highly recommend it, guys. Sleep is super important. And thank you guys for watching this and knowing that sponsors do make these videos possible, and I love and appreciate all of you guys for listening to this. And now, as I was saying, oh my god, that green leaf background, eh? Kind of cute. I feel like I almost blend into this one too much because like this is the same color as me. So first thing about sleep, like I told you guys, is I took my meds. It's probably been about like half an hour ago at this point. So I have about half an hour to make this video before I am clocked out. It's a new thing with my medication. I got new meds. I finally got ADHD medication. I've been on them for, I think, like over a month now. He said, you might have borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder, so we're gonna give you ADHD medication. Fucking finally. Dude, I'm literally diagnosed with ADHD. I don't understand the problem. He said, we're gonna give you this ADHD medication, and if you find yourself manic, you probably don't have ADHD. You probably are bipolar or have borderline personality disorder. Interesting. I do not find myself manic. In fact, I find myself the most slow and simple that I've ever been. Those are 2 things that I've never been and I've always wanted to be. I want to be stupid. My ADHD meds don't make me stupid. They just make things easier. Things have less steps in my mind. In order to do stuff, usually I'm like, well, that thing requires like 55 steps. But but it's like as simple as take the garbage out, you know? But I'm like, there's so many steps involved. But with my ADHD medication, sometimes I'm like, oh, that's just one thing. I live at home. Where else would you live? I work from home. So usually I can make it so I set my hours around an hour after I take my medication, I'm not working, so I can have a nap. So love-hate relationship with sleep. I have always had sleep issues my entire life. As an infant, as a bebe, my parents say that I was not a good sleeping baby. Never. And that did not stop my whole existence. I remember I would sleep with the door open with a light on. The bathroom, which was right next to my bedroom, would be open as well with the light on in the bathroom all night. I've never considered myself afraid of the dark. I don't know if it's irrational. I don't know what it is, but I guess anything is rational, really. Anything is rational. Interesting development here, Paige. I freak out intensely when I cannot see. So it's not like I'm afraid of the dark, because I'm not really afraid of like things in the dark. If I can't see, I lose my shit. Maybe it's because I have auditory processing disorder, and so I can't hear things going on that well, but I can see things very well. I also have a photographic memory, and so maybe that's it. I need to see things to understand what's going on, where things are. Also, as a child, so not only did I sleep with like my door open, bathroom, light on, whatever, I would go to sleep before my parents, and my parents would sit on the couch and watch TV. And they would wait an appropriate amount of time that they thought for me to be asleep, and then they would turn off the TV and go to bed. My problem was a lot of the times I wouldn't fall asleep before my parents were ready to go to bed. I remember the sound of the TV turning off. Doom, doom. And then I'm like, I run out, no, guys, please stay up more. Please stay up more. I'm not asleep yet. Please stay up more. And as a young child, a lot of times they were like, okay, Paige, like, we'll stay up for a little bit longer. But as I got older and that kept happening, they're like, no, Paige, like, I want to go to sleep. What they would then do is keep the TV on and put it on like a sleep timer. My father would only put the sleep timer on for half an hour, and I knew it. So I was anticipating it, and after half an hour it would shut off, and I'm like, I can't. I would go out, turn the TV on, keep it on all night. As like a toddler and a young, small child, there were a lot of times where for me to go to sleep, I would go into my parents' room. They had a little TV, and I would watch like a Barbie movie, a Disney movie or something, and fall asleep there watching the TV. And then my parents, when they were ready to go to bed, my father would just pick me up and take me to my bedroom, place me in bed, and then peace out, good night. And I was like, I'm asleep, so this is fine. I've always really needed the TV to fall asleep my whole life. That realization though didn't come until much later in life, when I realized that this is actually something that's helpful to me. Because often it's a hindrance. It could possibly have been a hindrance, and that's what has led me to relying on a TV to fall asleep. I don't know. But either way, whatever it is, I need a TV to fall asleep. And I was in, I believe it started in middle school and went on into high school. I had really bad insomnia. My thing about insomnia, and I'm sure a lot of you who struggle with insomnia can relate, I was panicking about the lack of sleep that I was getting. I would be looking at the clock. This is the max amount of hours of sleep I can get today because I have to wake up at 6:15, which means I'm going to be tired tomorrow, which means that I'm not going to learn as efficiently, and probably I'm going to be cranky. What are the problems that's going to happen from you not sleeping? I would cry, and I would have panic attacks, and I would try everything. This was every night for maybe 5-6 years. There would be nights where I would try sleeping on the floor. I would go and try to sleep in the bathtub. I would go upside down on my bed. I would try to sleep downstairs. I would go out into the living room. I'd see if I could sleep with my parents. There are sometimes I'm like, can I just sleep on your floor? It was horrendous, disgusting. And my mom said, well, what I do is I read before I go to bed, and that helps me. But my mom is also neurotypical, and so any advice that she ever has given me, I'm like, this would work if I was anyone else. So then I started trying to read before going to bed. I read all the time anyway. I'm hyperlexic, so reading before bed actually made it worse, because I got so focused in reading. I would read an entire novel and then be like, it's 4 a.m. I had Christmas lights on at all times in my room, and often I had like this LED strip on my bed, which I got when I was like 12. I was a trendsetter. I started taking melatonin and St. John's wort. I would use essential oils. I would meditate. I would try the warm milk. I would take a bath. My brain just doesn't shut off. It's worse when you're like self-aware. It's a weakness, and what's the opposite? Strength, I am very self-aware. I hate it personally. So at night sitting there knowing what's going on was so shit. Well, don't have a light on. You sleep with the lights off. Tried that. I can't sleep in pitch black, but I did try like no technology after this time. I've never been a caffeine person until now, because I really like the taste of sugar-free Monster energies. So it wasn't anything like that. I was exercising a shit ton. I was a competitive dancer. I danced for 6 hours a day sometimes. I also went to the gym and I worked out. I should be exhausted. I would stay up all the time if I could. Sometimes I forget that I'm a human with a human vessel that needs certain things to stay alive. Like, we need to lie unconscious for like 8 hours a day in order to be human. What? We do such a bad job at humaning ourselves while we're awake that our brain makes us shut down so it can go over and fix the shit that we did throughout the day. So when it's like go to sleep, my brain is like, no, I'm not human. I don't need to sleep. One way that things got better was I would force myself to stay up an extra hour than I usually would. At this time, I was taking the birth control pill and I took it every night. And so usually I would try to be in bed at 9 p.m. I remember this because I need like 9 hours of sleep at least to function as a human. And I would wake up usually at 6:15. So I would take my birth control at 8:30 p.m., which is when I started getting ready for bed, brush my teeth, pajamas on, all that good stuff. I then forced myself to set my birth control alarm to 9:30 p.m. I was more tired when I went to bed. It was like I was excited for sleep instead of dreading it. If I forced myself to be in a position where I was tired, or more tired at least, to go to bed, then sleep didn't seem as scary to me as it seemed rewarding. So that helped. There'd be times where my parents, okay, good night, Paige, whatever, and I'm like, good night. I have to stay awake right now. It's not time for me to take my pill yet. And that felt okay. I'm making a conscious decision to do this, which means I have the power. I'm in control. I read a quote and I can't remember who it was. I almost feel like it was Stephen King. I can see the picture of the quote and I feel like the guy's name was Stephen King. Does Stephen King have sleep problems? But it said, sleep is like a cat. It only comes to you when you ignore it. And I went, really? Huh. Oh, it's so true about cats. And so then from there on, what I tried to do was ignore sleep. Sleep has like a weird anxious attachment style. When I really want sleep and I'm trying to chase it and beg for it, sleep is like, no. But as soon as I'm like, I don't want you, I don't need you, bye, then sleep is like, no, come back, I'm so good. I'll be so good to you. Speaking of sleep, it has now probably been an hour since I've taken my meds. It's so weird, this feeling how it just goes, you need to fall asleep right now. Let's hope that I make sense for these next bits. You can't be stressed and have executive dysfunction when you're in a coma. I started ignoring sleep. I would fight the sleep, and fighting to stay awake works. I think it's a control thing. I'm not just awake and freaking out. It instead was like, no, I'm making the decision to not do this, and then therefore I feel good and safe about it. And then also in those ways, I felt like by ignoring sleep and trying to push sleep away, I could indulge myself in those moments of awakeness, doing something that I liked or that I wanted to do instead of stressing about how I wasn't sleeping. Also, if you guys don't know, I have trichotillomania. Sometimes I just need to pick the split ends out of my hair. It's better than ripping it out of my skull. So now when I'm going to bed, a lot of the times what I'll do is I will stay up and journal. I'll bullet journal. I'll do some like self-help healing therapy. I love designing a bullet journal and being able to color it, writing down quotes or making poetry, like doing like karaoke. When this all started, I was in like a loft bed, and so my bed was like up top and it had like little things. So I had a bunch of books and journals like right between my mattress and the frame. And so I always had something to do at night to try to keep me focused on not sleeping. I'd go, no, I'm doing this thing, and eventually I would win because I have a human body. And then if I woke up the next morning, even if I didn't sleep more than 6 hours or something, I almost didn't feel shit about it because it was my choice. It wasn't the fact that I couldn't do anything else. I found it was better to get the same amount of sleep that way that you would if you were battling with sleep all night, because at least this way you were doing something that you were happy to be doing and you weren't stressed and crying and panicking and losing your mind. So that started out to be an okay thing. And another thing that I started to do, even if I'm going to bed and I'm journaling or I'm singing or I'm doing some self-help or I'm coloring, I got a TV in my room that I would be playing as I'm doing those things. And the TV would continue to be on like at a ridiculous amount of time that I would set the timer to, like 6 hours. The TV show that I put on has to be something I've watched before. It has to be something that I already know all of the words to. I know what's going to happen, so I don't have the need to stay up and watch. So things like that would be Family Guy, for one, which Family Guy was really good because every episode is different. You could pick up Family Guy in the middle of a freaking season and it wouldn't change what happens. Big Bang Theory was really good. I can do multiple things at once, and I actually need to have multiple sources of stimuli happening at once. That is one reason why filming YouTube videos can be so hard for me, because I have to only do one thing. And so that's often why I will pick up my split ends, or I take a lot of breaks in between filming. I would say probably 75% of the footage that I have to edit out of videos is just me like sitting silently. I remember my boyfriend at the time, he had Netflix, and at this time we didn't have Netflix. We barely had the internet to be able to scroll on Instagram, let alone Netflix. But my boyfriend at the time gave me his Netflix password. I would go to school and then I would download different shows and movies that I wanted to watch so that I could watch them when I was at home. My thoughts are so fast, and ever since Netflix, my screen time on my phone is, oh, you were on your phone for 16 hours today. That's 2 hours less than yesterday. Good job. Because I am always watching something. Last night, I found myself watching Bones on my TV in my room. And then I was also watching the new episode of last season of Attack on Titan on my laptop. I was also crocheting. I was focusing on all three of those things. I have this thing that goes around your neck and you put your phone right here, so then you can do stuff while watching something and like using your hands. You don't have to hold the phone or place it somewhere. When there's something that I have to do that requires me to not watch TV for a period of time, especially if it's a social setting where I know that I won't be stimulated the entire time, where I know that I won't be constantly in a conversation, I know that I'm not gonna have a good time. So yeah, Netflix kind of saved my life. Oh boy, it's at that part where you're so sleepy that it actually is hard to stay awake. And one last thing about sleep, which isn't really about the sleeping, the whole nighttime sleeping part, is I have always taken naps. And that was one thing that I also tried not to do to get me to sleep better. I can't help it. I just pass out. My friends always joke like, oh, you're such a good napper. I can never nap. I don't even mean to. My body's like, nope, out, and I will nap. Every day at school, in classes that were hard for me, so that was history class, English class, I would be struggling not to fall asleep listening to them. Those classes were so hard for me and so much to process that I'm pretty sure that my reason to nap in those situations my whole life is because my brain's like, okay, this is too much to regurgitate. We need you to fall asleep right now. Stop learning new information that's making me work way too hard and just go to bed. Anytime I was in a social setting for too long, I am always the first one at a party to fall asleep. Actually, lately I've been better at that, but I think that's my ADHD medication. Usually I'm like, good night, and I will just find a couch and just pretty much every day after school, I would go home and instantly fall asleep. It's not even like I chose it, but after a while, I understand that that's something that I do, and so I plan accordingly. Most of the days where I have naps are the days where I do things that are hard. One of my accommodations in high school was to stand up and have a podium when writing tests, because if there was a question on a test that I didn't know or I had to really think about, oh, you want to go to sleep. And if I was sitting down, I would fall asleep. So I need to stand up so then I could like keep moving so I wouldn't fall asleep. Because I don't sleep very well at night often, I take the naps as they come. I'm gonna take care of my human vessel in whatever way my human vessel tells me it's okay with being taken care of. One other thing that I found, I posted this on my Instagram story a few days ago. When I'm asleep, if some part of my body in the real world is in pain, I feel the pain so much more when I'm sleeping. And the second I wake up, it's like someone, like a soundproof blanket over the pain. Like you can feel that it's there, but it's just like, it's dampened. It's a numb type of pain. That is so weird. I can make a hypothesis as to why I feel pain more in my sleep than when I'm awake. I'm sure that a lot of us have theories, but I'd love to know if there's any studies on it. Oh, other thing about sleeping, I've slept in the same position my whole life. A little blanket that I will take in between my hands and do this. And I sleep like that every night. I do not have a top sheet. Fuck top sheets. A weighted blanket or two. And then I need at least one blanket that's just like a throw blanket to wrap around my head. I don't like nothing touching my neck because if I move and something touches my neck, I don't like that. Like you guys will see I wear a turtleneck all the time. Even though this is touching it, it's never not touching it, so it's not a change. And I also will sleep with my hair in a bun up top, on the top of my head. It's not gonna interfere, and also that my hair won't be in my face, it won't be on my neck, it won't touch me, it won't get stuck if I wanna like roll over and I'm laying on it. Are any of you guys autistic or have ADHD and have similar feelings? What are some ways that you guys find are helpful to get to sleep, or any tips and tricks? I would love to hear them. Please comment them down below. I'm sure everyone would love to know. I think that I am going to go upstairs and have a nap now. Thank you once again to Birch for sponsoring today's video. You guys know what to do. Go click the link down below. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here. Oh my god, side note, my YouTube plaque for 100,000 subscribers was sent to my house, but then I wasn't here. So then they didn't just leave it, which I hate when they don't just leave it. Like, just put it down. They brought it to some other location in my town that I've never been to before. So obviously I'm not going. And they said, go pick it up here. 1, I don't want to drive there. 2, I don't know where that is. 3, I've never been inside there. 4, I have no idea who works there. I don't want to do that. Just leave it at my house. I didn't go and pick it up because I'm a loser. And then they just sent me an email a few days ago that said, well, you didn't pick this up, so it's going to be returned to sender. So my YouTube plaque is currently being delivered back to YouTube headquarters or something. I want them to do it again, have me be here when it's going to be delivered. So if any of you guys have a YouTube plaque and can attest to any of that and how I can do that, please let me know. Do I seem stoned? I feel like I seem stoned right now. My eyes are so closed. Okay, well that's probably enough. I love you so much. Have a good day. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. My friends, my dears, my pals. Toodaloo. And I bid you adieu. Okay, bye.